Hey team, the ugly bear market forges on, but there's an old saying, bull markets make you money, bear markets make you rich. When the market is down, when people are panicked, when the noobs and the tourists are getting wrecked, that's when you can set yourself up for the next upswing, which could happen much sooner than many expect. In this video, I'll share what you can do during a down market to continue to earn profit and position yourself for the next rally. Thanks for watching. This is To The Point with me, Austin M. Craig. And guys, I've been around the crypto space for a while. I've learned some things, and one of those things is that the market will surprise you. You don't know exactly what the future holds because nobody has access to all of the information out there, let alone the ability to process it and spit out prescient prognostications. Neither you nor I are the Nostradamus of crypto. There's too much happening, and thanks to the butterfly effect, one seemingly distant action can impact everything else in surprising ways. Current case in point, as I record this, there is still blood in the streets from the collapse of UST and Terra. UST is at 36 cents, pretty not good for a stable coin, and Terra is down 99.3% in a week. Guys, they are not going to save this, not in a meaningful way. I think this crypto pair is dead. Terra was the talk of the town not that long ago, and UST was a rising star. Now, poof, gone. I don't want to get into the exact mechanics of the collapse, but suffice it to say, this is one of the biggest failures in crypto history, way bigger than the BitConnect collapse of 2018. There are people who predicted that this might happen, and Do Kwon, the founder of Terra, mocked them openly, but time has shown that they were entirely correct. They were right, but nobody really knows what the future will hold. All you can have is your prediction and the degree of confidence with which you hold that prediction. And based on my previous experience, I do have one broad prediction right now. The market will recover. Nothing has fundamentally changed. Decentralized internet money is still the future. Bitcoin still dominates the cryptocurrency market. The Bitcoin network remains unbroken, even if the price is down. The price has collapsed exactly like this many times before, and people love to declare that Bitcoin is dead. Those people have been wrong every single time. Now, caveat emptor, I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I'm sharing is my unqualified opinion. With that said, here's the first thing I'm going to do to position myself during the down market. I'm buying Bitcoin. Many people who are experiencing this crash are learning the hard way. In the world of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is the stable currency, sometimes more so than the so-called stable coins. I say buy Bitcoin specifically because there's an important distinction here between Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Maybe you're familiar with Bitcoin maximalism, maybe not. Maybe you are a Bitcoin maximalist, maybe you hate Bitcoin maximalists. If you don't know, a Bitcoin maximalist is a person who fervently believes that Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency that matters, the only one that is real money, and everything else is irrelevant at best, or worse, a scam. That's pretty harsh, right? It's a harsh stance to take, but after nearly a decade in the space, I'm persuaded that they are not entirely wrong. I don't know if I hold the same religious devotion to Bitcoin that many maxis do, but the arguments for Bitcoin's resilience have proven out again and again. Bitcoin is better money, a store of value, than other cryptocurrencies, which are volatile and routinely collapse or die. It's better money than fiat currencies, which are being inflated away, melting at an ever-increasing rate. Zoom out, even in what feels like a devastating bear market, Bitcoin is still way up from a few years ago. It's a volatile asset, but at this point, what isn't a volatile asset? If you haven't noticed, the world is short on stability right now. The S&P 500 is down hard, losing everything it gained in the past year, and the Nasdaq is back to 2020 levels. My money is still on Bitcoin, literally. Bitcoin is the most secure payment network on the planet, period, full stop. It's as unkillable as the internet itself. The criticism of it being slow and expensive are diminishing as layer 2 networks like the Lightning Network spread and find adoption with groups like Cash App and Strike. It isn't controlled by some small cabal of founders or investors. Satoshi Nakamoto did something incredible after launching Bitcoin. He disappeared. There were no venture capitalists involved at the start of Bitcoin. It was operating for a year before anybody even tried to use it to purchase something. There really weren't any other cryptocurrencies for a couple years, let alone exchanges to try trading your way to profit. Bitcoin really and truly was not started as a get-rich-quick scheme, despite what some may lead you to believe. In fact, it would have failed spectacularly at that job. It's taken 13 years to get where we are now. It was the best investment of the 2010s, but relative to the way people talk about NFTs or other cryptos now, 13 years is an incredibly slow build, and we are nowhere near the top for this new money and technology. Estimates put the number of Bitcoin owners worldwide at 106 million, which is 1.3% of the global population. That's where the internet was in the late 90s. And that doesn't even touch on the eventual adoption coming from institutions and governments. Trust me, that's coming. As the dollar continues to decline, as the US empire declines, along with its military, sovereign governments around the world are going to look for something else to store their treasury in. Do you think they'll pick other national currencies, which are all inflating and all subject to political manipulation? Or will they pick shiny old rocks? Maybe they will, a little. I like shiny old rocks. But more likely, they will choose cryptographic money that can be secured in a way that nobody on Earth can take it from you unless you want to give it to them. It's my personal belief that there are already governments around the world who are buying up and securing Bitcoin and not announcing it. They're doing it secretly. Mark my words, wait for that to come out someday. That's my rant about Bitcoin. I could keep going. Obviously, it's the main point of this channel. Famously, Satoshi Nakamoto didn't have time to convince people of the virtue of his system. But you know who does? Michael Saylor. Man, that guy has done a lot to educate people to the strengths of Bitcoin as sound money. Find some of his many long-form interviews. Just search YouTube, Michael Saylor. I guarantee he'll offer some enlightenment on why Bitcoin is a superior long-term store of value to anything else out there. So there you go. Buy and hold Bitcoin. Do not hold it on exchanges. Hold it in self-custody, probably on a hardware wallet. You can use my link down below if you want to pick up one of those. That's step one for the bear market, and it's the conservative move. This is baseline. It's the least you can do. But as the saying goes, high risk, high reward, right? There are riskier moves in a down market that can make you money. So here is the second thing I'll suggest in the bear market: staking. Staking is an arrangement that rewards you for depositing your funds and not selling them. Think of it like what banks used to do. They'd pay you a decent interest rate for holding your money. Today, banks don't even pretend to pay a decent rate. At 0.5% annually at best, they don't even keep up with the Fed's target inflation of 2%. But you can stake cryptocurrency into smart contracts to earn rewards constantly, streaming crypto right to you. And unlike physical cash in a physical bank vault, in a good staking contract, the people running the show shouldn't be able to access your funds. You have custody and nobody else does. That's at least how it should work. Keep in mind, they are not all good staking opportunities. YouTuber CoffeeZilla recently had a few things to say about the SafeMoon liquidity pool and how those funds were neither safe nor headed to the moon. We could also bring up Olympus DAO and the Ohm token. Olympus was the hottest token for a hot minute last year. At its peak, the token was worth $1,300. Today, it's worth $13. 99% of the value lost. Yikes. The Ohm token got inflated away faster than your Fed token at your local bank, and of course, as mentioned before, the Terra UST liquidity pool. If you held money in the Anchor protocol staking the Terra UST pair, you just basically lost everything. As of this writing, Terra has lost 98.67% of its value in the past week. Let us all take a moment of silence for our lost brethren. Like I said, high risk, high reward, but if you educate yourself, you do your diligence, you see what the team says, talk to the technically capable members in those communities, honestly analyze the criticisms of the projects and pools you're looking at, you should be able to get a good idea of whether the contract you're staking into really does keep the funds cryptographically locked, and if the associated cryptocurrency is at risk of seriously dropping in value. This can pay a healthy rate even in a down market, and when the coin value rises, even better. Just stay awake, keep your eyes on what you're doing, and be careful. For what it's worth, I have personally staked a modest amount of my portfolio into Giddy. I've talked about Giddy before on this channel. This is a startup out of Salt Lake City that aims to make DeFi as simple as Coinbase or Robinhood, all while preserving the self-custody ethos of being your own bank, and doing it all from a mobile app. This is a very tall order that they have not delivered on yet. It's incredibly complex in multiple dimensions, not least of which will be the regulatory environment, but I am rooting for them. You can get on the waitlist for the app by clicking my link down below. Please do that. It'll move me up the line. And until that app releases, you can stake crypto for Giddy token rewards. I gave a whole tutorial on how to do that staking. Plus, I plan to do a follow-up video on this soon because this particular investment has performed quite admirably during this insane down market. I may be down overall in dollars, but thanks to Giddy, my portfolio is actually up measured in Bitcoin, which in my book is a huge win. Link to that Giddy tutorial also down below. And the third thing thing I'll suggest for the bear market: get involved in a project in a meaningful way. Talk to the team, start using the tools, engage with the community, maybe become a community manager or an ambassador. This takes commitment. Maybe it entails even a career change for you, so choose carefully, but this can produce incredible results. Here's the truth: if you tough it out, if you survive and stay with this when the fairweather fans go on to do other normie stuff, just stick around and survive, then you're virtually guaranteed to dominate when the market eventually comes roaring back. I have personally failed to do this to my own regret. So, a little personal history. In the spring of 2013, I got started making a documentary about Bitcoin. We ran a Kickstarter to raise a production budget. We filmed at the end of summer and into fall, and we wrapped up right as the market was rallying to new all-time highs. It was a very exciting time. I was being interviewed by VentureBeat and Fast Company and Forbes and many others. And then the market collapsed. And worse than that, our little crew kind of fell apart. The production company we hired burned through the budget. Most of the members of our team moved on to other profitable projects. I stuck it out to get the film edited and released, worked nights and weekends for literally a couple years, finally wrapping up in about 2016. The film was way behind schedule, but at least it was done and I was proud of what we made. But post-production on that project was a prolonged nightmare. And by the time I was done, I didn't really want to talk about Bitcoin anymore. I moved on, I produced a TV show for a while, I did a bunch of commercial videos, but I didn't do much in the Bitcoin space besides stacking sats. Flash forward to summer 2017, the market is starting to heat up again, and I got recruited to join a blockchain startup as the head of marketing. It was an ambitious crew with multiple exits in their past. We announced an ICO, we got major press coverage, we toured the world, we raised roughly $30 million in the ICO, and then the market collapsed again. Our $30 million runway turned into more like $2 million, and the entire marketing department, myself included, were let go from the company as they pivoted into an entirely new business. And again, I moved on. I produced podcasts for a Bay Area studio till, and this is a true story, I'm not making this up, my boss had a months-long drug-fueled mental breakdown culminating in him spending all of the company money on new cars, NBA tickets, and more drugs. There's a whole 2-hour version of that story that's wild. I will spare you the details, but suffice it to say, I lost my job, and this timeline brings us up to about 2020, when the pandemic hits and crypto takes off, and I start to seriously think I should have just stuck with Bitcoin that whole time. So here I am, nearly a decade on from getting into Bitcoin, and I am telling you, the most important thing you can do right now is stack sats, keep learning, and stick around. That may sound trite, but I am serious. Doing those 3 things when everybody else decides they're not interested anymore, by staying with this when everybody else's enthusiasm has deflated, that will virtually guarantee your eventual success when the market recovers and rallies, and it will recover. That's what I've got, team. Hope you're hanging in there. What did I leave out? What do you recommend doing during the down market? Let me know what you want to talk about in future videos, and hey, if there are enough questions, maybe we'll do a live stream soon and answer in real time. As they say, be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. We'll talk again soon. Thanks, team.